Before I say anything else, I need you to stop whatever you're doing, because what I'm about to share with you today, it fundamentally changed how I think about the brain, about aging, and about something as simple as what you eat before you go to sleep. Most people, including most doctors, are completely unaware of this. And I say that not to shock you. I say that because I was one of those doctors. For years, I told my patients, eat well, sleep well, exercise, standard advice, reasonable advice, but incomplete advice, because nobody was talking about what happens to your brain during those 8 hours of darkness while you sleep. Here's what I've learned since. Your brain doesn't rest at night. Not truly. While your body lies still, your brain is doing something extraordinary. It activates a system discovered only in 2013 by researchers at the University of Rochester called the glymphatic system. Think of it as your brain's overnight cleaning crew. It flushes out toxic proteins, it clears amyloid plaques, the same plaques linked to Alzheimer's disease. It repairs damaged neural pathways. It essentially rebuilds you from the inside out. But here's the part that stunned me when I first read the research. What you eat in the hours before you sleep determines directly, measurably, biologically, how well that cleaning crew can do its job. The wrong foods at night, they inflame the brain, they disrupt the glymphatic flow, they leave those toxic proteins sitting there, accumulating night after night, year after year. The right foods. Published studies from Harvard Medical School, the Mayo Clinic, and Cambridge University suggest they can enhance overnight memory consolidation, reduce neuroinflammation, support myelin repair, and even slow cognitive decline by measurable degrees. Today, I'm going to share 5 of those foods with you. And I promise you this, number 1 on this list is something sitting in most of your kitchens right now. Something you've probably never once thought of as brain medicine. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at your evening routine the same way again. Before we get into the list, I want to speak directly to you. If you're watching this video, chances are you're somewhere in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. And I want you to know something. You've probably noticed things, small things at first, walking into a room and forgetting why. A name that used to come instantly, now it floats just out of reach. Reading a paragraph and needing to read it again. Moments of fog, moments of frustration, moments where you wonder, is this just age, or is something happening to me? Maybe you felt fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to fix. Maybe your joints ache in the morning. Maybe inflammation has become your constant companion, and in your knees, your back, your hands, and maybe, just maybe, you've been told by a doctor, this is normal for your age. I want to challenge that statement tonight, because the science, real science from the world's leading neuroscience institutions, tells a very different story. Your brain is not a fixed organ. It is not a candle burning down to nothing. It is dynamic, it is responsive, and it is at almost any age capable of remarkable repair if you give it what it needs. So before we begin, I want you to do one thing. Scroll down to the comments right now and tell me, how old are you? And what's the one brain symptom that bothers you most? Forgetfulness, fog, fatigue, because you are not alone. And this community right here, we're going to face this together now. Let's talk about food. Number 5, tart cherries coming in at number 5. And don't let the simplicity fool you. Tart cherries, not sweet cherries, not cherry flavored candy. I mean tart cherries, Montmorency variety specifically. And what they contain is something your aging brain desperately needs at night. What are they? Tart cherries are one of the only natural food sources of melatonin, the hormone that governs your sleep-wake cycle. But here's what most people completely miss. They also contain extraordinarily high levels of anthocyanins, powerful antioxidant compounds that cross the blood-brain barrier. Most antioxidants can't do that. These can. Why does this matter after 60? As we age, our natural melatonin production drops sharply, sometimes by as much as 80% compared to our youth. This isn't trivial. Poor melatonin means disrupted deep sleep, and disrupted deep sleep means the glymphatic system I told you about, that overnight brain cleaner, cannot do its work properly. Researchers at Louisiana State University conducted a study in which older adults with insomnia drank tart cherry juice twice daily for 2 weeks. The results? Sleep time increased by an average of 84 minutes per night. Not a sleeping pill, not a prescription, cherry juice. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. The anthocyanins in tart cherries were shown in a 2022 study published in the Journal of Nutritional Science to reduce markers of neuroinflammation, specifically IL-6 and TNF-alpha, 2. Inflammatory cytokines strongly associated with accelerated cognitive decline. In plain language, tart cherries fight the fire in your brain while you sleep. Traditional medicine misses this because inflammation-based cognitive decline doesn't show up on a standard cholesterol panel or blood pressure reading. It accumulates silently over years, over decades, until one day the fog doesn't lift. How to use it: drink 8 Oz of unsweetened tart cherry juice 30-60 minutes before bed, or take a tart cherry extract capsule, 500-1,000 micrograms, with a small amount of food, combined with magnesium glycinate for dramatically enhanced sleep depth. Avoid sugary versions. The sugar counteracts the anti-inflammatory benefit. Do this at least 5 nights per week for cumulative effect. Number 4, walnuts. Number 4 gets even more fascinating, and it involves a shape you may have noticed before but never quite understood: walnuts. Have you ever looked at a walnut closely, split it open? Look at the 2 lobes, the folded ridges, the intricate curves. It looks like a brain. Ancient herbalists called this a sign, a hint from nature. Modern neuroscientists, I can tell you, are beginning to think perhaps those ancient observers weren't entirely wrong. The biology: walnuts are uniquely rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. Your brain is roughly 60% fat, and the myelin sheath, the protective coating around every nerve fiber in your brain, is made primarily of fatty acids. After age 60, myelin begins to degrade. Signals slow, processing speed drops, reaction time lengthens. Walnuts help rebuild it. A landmark study from UCLA published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging analyzed data from over 20,000 adults and found that walnut consumers scored significantly higher on cognitive function tests, including memory, concentration, and processing speed, regardless of other dietary factors. Another study from the Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University found that a walnut-enriched diet reduced oxidative stress in the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, by measurable degrees in just 8 weeks. But here's the story behind the number. Margaret Chen, 71, a retired school principal from Portland, Oregon. Margaret came to me with what she described as brain fog, so thick some mornings I can't find the right words. She'd been an educator for 38 years, sharp, articulate, passionate, and now in retirement, she felt like she was watching herself fade. She wasn't depressed. She wasn't medically impaired. She was simply, as she put it, losing herself in slow motion. We made several changes, but the one she credits most, the one that made her call my office 6 weeks later crying with relief, was adding a small handful of walnuts to her evening routine. I started dreaming again, she told me, real vivid dreams, and I woke up feeling present, like the static had cleared. Was it only the walnuts? No, but the omega-3s, the melatonin naturally present in walnuts, the polyphenols, they gave her sleeping brain exactly what it needed to repair overnight. How to use it: eat 1 small handful, about 1 Oz, 28 G, 60-90 minutes before bed. Do not roast them in oil, raw or dry roasted only. Pair with a few tart cherries for synergistic anti-inflammatory effect. Avoid salted versions if you have blood pressure concerns. Consistency is everything. Do this nightly for at least 30 days before judging results. Number 3, kiwi fruit. Stay with me, because this one surprised even the researchers. Kiwi fruit, yes, the small, fuzzy green fruit most people walk right past in the grocery store. And if you're walking past it, please stop, because what this fruit does to your sleeping brain is frankly remarkable. The biology: kiwi is extraordinarily high in serotonin, a neurotransmitter that is the direct precursor to melatonin. Your brain converts serotonin into melatonin as darkness falls. But if serotonin is low, a condition extremely common in older adults, that conversion fails and your deep sleep architecture collapses. Kiwi is also packed with folate, vitamin C, and choline, 3 nutrients that support the production of acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter most directly tied to memory formation and recall. Here's the study that stunned me. Researchers at Taipei Medical University conducted a controlled trial in which adults with sleep disorders ate 2 kiwis 1 hour before bedtime every night for 4 weeks. The results? Sleep onset time fell by 35%. Total sleep time increased by 13%. Sleep efficiency, the proportion of time in bed actually spent sleeping, improved by 5%. And what happened next shocked even the researchers. The participants also showed improved scores on standardized memory assessments. 2 kiwis, 1 hour before bed, 4 weeks. That's not a drug, that's dinner. Traditional medicine's blind spot. Most physicians never counsel patients on food-based serotonin support. We prescribe SSRIs, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, without first asking, is the patient's diet even providing enough serotonin precursors? How to use it. Eat 2 medium kiwis approximately 60 minutes before sleep. Eat the skin if possible. It contains 3 times the fiber and added polyphenols, or blend into a small smoothie with tart cherry juice. Pair with walnuts for a complete pre-sleep brain ritual. Do this 5 to 7 nights per week. Number 2, fatty fish or algae oil. Most people completely miss this one because they think of fish as a lunch food, a dinner food, not a before bed food. They're wrong. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, or for those who don't eat fish, algae-based omega-3 oil contains the 2 most powerful brain fats known to science, DHA and EPA. Let me tell you what these do. DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, makes up approximately 25% of all the fat in your brain's gray matter. It is structurally essential to every neuron. Without adequate DHA, neurons become rigid, signal transmission slows. Synaptic plasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections, learn new things, and consolidate memories, deteriorates. EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, is the brain's primary anti-inflammatory agent. It suppresses the NF-κB inflammatory pathway, one of the most destructive molecular cascades associated with neurodegeneration. A landmark study from Oxford University involving 450 children, later replicated in adults, found that DHA supplementation improved both memory performance and sleep quality simultaneously. Because DHA doesn't just feed neurons, it directly influences melatonin receptor sensitivity in the brain. In other words, more DHA means melatonin works better. And a 2021 meta-analysis in nutritional neuroscience pooling data from 33 studies found that higher blood levels of DHA were associated with a 23% lower risk of dementia over a 10-year follow-up period. 23% from a fat found in fish. Robert Simmons, 68, a retired electrician from Memphis, Tennessee. Robert had worked with his hands his whole life. Strong man, proud man. But he came to me embarrassed, genuinely embarrassed, because he kept forgetting the names of tools he'd used for 40 years. He'd reach for a word, wrench, conduit, breaker, and it would simply not be there. My brain feels like it's rusting, he told me. We checked his omega-3 index, a blood test most doctors never order. His DHA level was critically low. I introduced fatty fish 3 evenings a week, plus a daily algae oil supplement. 8 weeks later, Robert called me. Doc, he said, I don't know what you did, but I feel like someone oiled the gears. How to use it. Eat 3-4 ahs of fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel for dinner 3 nights per week. On other nights, take 1 to 2 g of algae-based DHA EPA supplement with your evening meal. Pair with a drizzle of olive oil to enhance absorption. Omega-3s are fat-soluble. Avoid frying, bake, broil, or steam to preserve the fatty acid profile. Do not take on an empty stomach, can cause nausea. Combine with walnuts on non-fish nights for sustained omega-3 support. Number 1, golden milk, turmeric with black pepper and warm milk. And here we are. Number 1, and yes, I promised you it was probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Golden milk, a warm drink made from turmeric, black pepper, and milk, dairy or plant-based, used for over 3,000 years in Ayurvedic medicine. And now, finally, the subject of extraordinary peer-reviewed neuroscience research that is rewriting how we understand nighttime brain repair. Let me tell you what's happening inside this humble golden drink. Turmeric contains curcumin, a polyphenol compound that is, without exaggeration, one of the most extensively studied natural anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective molecules on Earth. Over 15,000 peer-reviewed studies have examined curcumin's biological effects. At night, curcumin does something profoundly important. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, something most supplements cannot do. Once inside, it directly inhibits amyloid beta plaque formation, the protein deposits at the heart of Alzheimer's pathology, activates BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which researchers at the Salk Institute have called miracle grow for the brain. BDNF stimulates the growth of new neurons, a process called neurogenesis, even in aging brains, suppresses COX-2 inflammatory enzymes with an efficacy comparable in some studies to low-dose ibuprofen, without the gastric side effects, activates the NRF2 pathway, your body's master antioxidant switch, which declines dramatically with age. A study from UCLA's Semel Institute for Neuroscience, published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry, found that adults who took curcumin twice daily for 18 months showed a 28% improvement in memory and attention scores compared to the placebo group. Brain scans revealed significantly less amyloid and tau accumulation in the curcumin group. 28% memory, curcumin, 18 months. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. And this is the part most people completely miss. Black pepper, curcumin is poorly absorbed on its own. Without an absorption enhancer, most of it passes right through you. But piperine, the active compound in black pepper, it increases curcumin's bioavailability by 2,000%. That is not a typo, 2,000%. A small pinch of black pepper transforms turmeric from a spice into medicine. And warm milk, whether dairy, oat, or almond, adds tryptophan, another serotonin precursor, while also providing casein protein that slows gastric emptying and supports stable blood sugar through the night. Stable blood sugar at night prevents the cortisol spikes that interrupt deep sleep and interfere with glymphatic function. This drink, this simple ancient golden drink, does more for your sleeping brain than most people's entire supplement cabinet. Why does traditional medicine miss this? Because curcumin cannot be patented. Because no pharmaceutical company can profit from a spice, and so it sits, largely ignored, in the nutritional recommendations of the world's most overworked, under-resourced physicians. I am telling you today, do not ignore it. How to use it. Exactly. Warm 1 cup of milk of your choice. Do not boil. Add 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder or fresh grated turmeric root. Add 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, non-negotiable for absorption. Add 1-2 teaspoon of coconut oil or ghee. Fat further enhances curcumin absorption. Optional, a small pinch of cinnamon for blood sugar stability. Add honey only if needed. Minimize sugar. Drink 30-45 minutes before bed, ideally in a quiet moment away from screens. Do this nightly. Curcumin's effects are cumulative. Most people notice changes within 3 to 6 weeks. Mistake to avoid: do not drink cold. Warmth enhances absorption and supports the serotonin to melatonin conversion pathway. I want to leave you with something today. Not a study, not a statistic, something more important. There is a story that medicine has been telling older adults for a very long time. And the story goes like this: you are declining, your brain is shrinking, your memory will fade. This is inevitable, this is aging. I reject that story, not out of wishful thinking, not out of false hope, but because the science, published, peer-reviewed, reproducible science from the world's greatest research institutions, tells a different story entirely. Your brain is plastic. It is responsive. It can grow new neurons. It can clear toxic proteins. It can rebuild connections that were thought to be gone. It can, given the right environment, the right nutrients, the right nightly conditions, heal. You are not a candle burning down. You are a garden. And gardens respond to what you give them. The foods I've shared with you tonight, tart cherries, walnuts, kiwi, fatty fish, golden milk, these are not miracle cures. I want to be honest with you. No single food reverses dementia. No drink eliminates Alzheimer's risk entirely, but they are real tools backed by real science, available to almost everyone. And they work not because I say so, but because the biology of the human brain at almost any age responds to the right inputs. You deserve to know this. You deserve to know it years ago. And if you walk away from this video tonight and make just one change, warm golden milk before bed, a handful of walnuts, 2 small kiwis, then something shifts. Something small but real, and small shifts sustained over time become transformations. I've watched patients in their 70s, their 80s reclaim clarity they thought was gone forever. I've seen eyes brighten, words return, dreams come back, purpose reemerge. Aging is not helpless decline. It is a chapter, and how that chapter reads, that is still beautifully, partially in your hands. So before you go, I have one simple request. Scroll down to the comments right now and tell me, how old are you? And which of these 5 foods are you going to try first? Is it the golden milk, the walnuts, the kiwi before bed? Tell me, because I read these comments. And every story you share helps someone else feel less alone on this journey. If this video helped you today, please hit the subscribe button. Every week, I bring you the science that most doctors don't have time to share in a 15-minute appointment. the science that belongs to you. Share this video with someone you love, a parent, a sibling, a friend who's been struggling, because this information, it shouldn't live only in academic journals. It should live in your kitchen.